Dear human, dear soul, I welcome you to my podcast series, Messages from Beyond. Since a near-death experience, I have had the gift of communicating with the subtle levels of the cosmos in a form of deep meditation in which I ask certain beings from the other world to communicate with me. As one of the first contacts to the afterlife, my old friend and teacher, friend of the Indians, showed himself to me. And it is now a great pleasure for me to introduce you to the conversations here as a supplement to the books. Please excuse me if the terms and our articulations are not perfect. Our mother tongue is German, but we try to translate it to the best of our ability. Thank you for understanding. The state of mankind. Dear friend of the Indians, is there something that you would like to put into words about the state of mankind?
To me, the state of mankind is only perceptible as an energy field. I can only perceive the humans in their individual forms when I contact them directly. But if you ask me about the state of collective mankind, then I have to tell you the following. Mankind has gone blind to cosmic laws. The power of those people who live the ego and only look for their personal advantage is becoming stronger and stronger. I'm afraid that the lost connection to the spiritual light worlds will change more and more of humankind into worried beings who do not know trust and do not live love. Fear is the faithful companion of all these new energies, and it is going to cause a lot of suffering. I would like to express the faint hope that we will manage to reach the people once more with this work, where so far no one could reach them. I have this hope.
Yes, I can understand that. Dear friend of the Indians, but there are other religions, places of power, other groups. There are so many people seeking the light. Do you mean to ignore them all as if they would not exist? Or what exactly do you mean by this?
It is correct that we also have to name these forms, but you have to make distinctions. The Church, the way you live it, is one of the most unloving forms on earth. Yet it presents quite a different picture to the public. The sickness of this form will grow worse and worse, and the people who work within this form will become more aggressive and helpless. The connecting to the loving worlds will become weaker and weaker, because the people will be living their ego more and more. If you continue to live within forms that are cold and unloving, you will become cold and unloving yourself. This process, unfortunately, has been going on for many years in your time, so that I, however much I would like to help such worldly forms to find their connection into the cosmos, I now have to destroy it here with these words, because it is not healthy. You can picture this like a process of liberation. The suffering that these forms have caused, all forms of suppression and lovelessness, will first have to go before the new forms can begin. Therefore, please take note. The old forms of your existing religions will have to break apart, because only then will love be truly possible. That which begins now has been long overdue. The life-destroying forms of these religions of your world The forms of these religions will have to die. Only then can the new forms begin to take shape. The most important thing here is the cleansing, the purification of your souls, the purification of your thoughts, and with that, the purification of your perception. Because it cannot and must not be that one human being destroys another, that their childlike innocence is misused through physical abuse and the interdictions that govern the love between men and women. All these cannot be while maintaining at the same time that the underlying idea is based on love and light. The one precludes the other. Please understand the power inherent in this misconception. The people cannot, on the one hand, consider the mistakes of the people behind these religions as negligible, and on the other hand give credence to the people who work within these institutions. That is not right. The people who still cling to the idea that the interdictions, the abuse, and the casualties, the countless casualties, do not serve as enough of a warning that all this is polluted and of unclean spirit, are clinging to a lie. I ask you to pass on the powerful intention behind my words, namely that you must stop praying to the empty forms, but instead recognize the content. This is one of my most important goals for this work. Please, dear humans, stop believing that the people are less effective and less responsible than the ideas that they are spreading. The opposite is the case. You will understand through this work the importance of words, the importance of actions, and even of thoughts. You will learn what true connection really means, and you will understand that it must not be that certain people speak words that you take to heart, and you continue to believe that those words spoken by this contaminated person are the words of God. You will understand that one thing causes the other, and as a result, you will want to change that which is now only empty form. You will be relieved and wish to act more lovingly towards one another. Because you will understand where lies dwell and where love's truth dwells. I am an instrument of the light, and I must therefore point to the places where darkness dwells. Therefore, I would ask all of you to open your hearts, to truly take these words seriously, and not to treat them as empty phrases that you occasionally read and soon forget about. The people have to learn that everything is connected with everything else, that all is simultaneously. There is never any separation. Love cannot coexist with hateful and unloving forms. One thing serves the other. Love precludes hate. The forms of light transform the forms of darkness. The people need light to finally understand where the darkness dwells and works. But please, make sure to explain carefully that by dark, I simply mean forms that do not radiate their inherent light. The darkness that I mean is simply the unawareness that makes people suffer.
Dear friend of the Indians, that was very long, a very long message, and I thank you for it. I will try to enter equally as deeply into the understanding how everything is interconnected and how everything works. Can you perceive the cause for this? For there being so much darkness, so much darkness within human consciousness. Why? How did it come to this?
This is a beautiful question, Sylvia. Humans have forgotten how to find the connection that shows them the way. It is not easy to maintain the connection to the loving, luminous paths in a world that provides more and more distractions. That is the biggest problem. The human spirit can be easily influenced. That means that it can easily be swayed by the worldly distractions that surround you. But at the same time, it needs to interrupt this distraction through stillness and purification. Then the energies of the cosmos will flow stronger within it once more and give it the right impulses to walk the path of light. The people require leadership. That is the other problem. For if light is scarce, any form that is full of light will be forced to take on the responsibility for everything. With this, I mean to say that the clouding of the internal awareness supports its tendency to look among the external forms even though it seeks the light. That means that light workers very quickly have to take responsibility for those who seek this light. But ultimately, the responsibility lies with the individual, with each and every one of you. Therefore, I will start this book with the appeal to all of you to please allow love to dwell inside you, in each and every single one of you. And you all carry the responsibility for this path yourself, everyone for himself or herself. No leader, no spiritual leader, neither leading capacity nor person can take this responsibility away from you. The teaching of the light can only be experienced alone. This is why the collective forms that you live in your religions and leaderships are not right. The premise is wrong. The leadership you seek lies within yourselves. This is the truth. This is vitally important. Only then, when you have realized that love and light can only grow within you, from inside you, will you no longer ask anyone other than yourselves. It will be my pleasure to provide the impetus for you to walk this path, but it is important to me that you walk it alone. Cosmic help, as you will learn, is always available and will always be there for you. But it is important for you to learn where to ask the question and of whom. The luminous beings of the cosmos are always ready to hear your requests and to act in accordance with the permissions given by yourselves. I am only here to prepare you for this.
What you report is great, and I will record it for eternity. So we have established that the religions, the group that currently exists on Earth, are not right and not wrong, And it cannot be that the people continue to accept that they pray for something, that they pray to something, or accept an agency that is so inherently broken. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
And at the same time, you would like to urge us to seek refuge in our inner sanctuary in order to discover the truth about our existence and no longer search for answers outside of ourselves. You will now embark on the path of pointing us in the right direction, right?
Yes.
I'm very much looking forward to that. Would you like to add something else to that?
No. Now please let me describe the path of purification. I will start with outlining the day for the people, how they should spend it from beginning to end. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love.
Love.